Hello everybody. So I am here to set up my budget for February with you all. So in here I have my budget stuff from January, and we are also going to incorporate a full budget recap at the end of this video. So we're going to set up for February, and then we're going to look at what happened in January. So we did a setup last month, a mid-month check-in, and now we're going to recap it. I was going to have these things be in separate videos, but we're getting a little bit far into February, and so I wanted to make sure that I got this out to you before it was too late. So stay tuned to the end of the video so you can see what happened from mid-January. I will say that it's not perfect. I am still a work in progress, and I am going to show you my real numbers. So buckle up. Let's get started. But first, what I want to do from this planner, what I want to do is pull out my budget sheet from January, and I want to go ahead and set up my budget for the month of February. And the way that I set up my budget is I work in a Frankenplanner. And so what that means is I have a bunch of stuff just in here all together. And I have a section within my planner. So I have like my home planner, my work planner, everything all in one book. And so I have a section in here where I keep my budget stuff. So that is what we're doing this time. We're gonna go ahead and set up our February budget and all of that good stuff. So we'll ignore the monthly for a minute, and I actually have a different idea for how I'm going to do this. So we will come back to this page and we may do a little bit of work here and that kind of thing, but most of that will be done off camera, and then you'll see some of it for a check-in. So this planning that I'm going to be doing today is going to be a lot of pen to paper. I'm going to be using very minimal stickers, so that is just kind of how things go and that kind of thing. So I'm actually going to switch up my VB pen. Okay, so this is a new one that I got, and I recently learned that you're not supposed to cap the ends of these, so we're just gonna set that right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill this out with you again, and we're gonna use last month's as a guide, and I am gonna continue to add in things that I may miss and that kind of thing as well. So we will do that. So let's start at the top. So housing is going to actually, so here's what we'll do. Because I like to kind of write things down and then talk them out with you guys, it's hard for me to talk and write. That is something I tell my students all the time. I'm going to go ahead and write everything that I have here over here, and I'm going to speed it up a little bit because we have a lot to get through in this video, and then I will meet you guys back at the end. So, or not at the end, but at the end of this part, and then we'll talk, and then we'll go into the monthly, and then we'll do my January recap. So this is about to be a long video, so grab a snack and do your things, but here we go. Let's get everything on here.
You watch me under the light, so keep me in your sight, 'cause I can do this all night. You can call it what you want, I got something else in mind. Oh, if it's you I've been waiting for, I better make you worth my time. So don't you pay them any mind, close your eyes, follow the sound. Keep it coming through the night, we don't need to slow down. Take it all, I'll give you what you need. If you stay with me, I'll love you in the dark. So shine on, don't lose your spark. Show me what you got. Let your colors burn. Let your colors burn now. Let your colors.
Okay, I have the bulk of everything kind of written on here. I'm gonna save, so last month at the very beginning, I put a total on here at the bottom, and I'm actually gonna save that because I may cancel some of these things. I'm kind of like looking at, like, I feel like this month I was really like evaluating and just observing what all I spent money on, which let me tell you was an eye opener. I really spend money like it's water and it's out of control. So I'm really glad that I'm trying to get a handle on it. I'm not doing any I'm barely even thinking about adding things to my savings. So I'm not doing any sinking funds or anything fancy like a lot of the budget people out there, but I hope to get there. But really, I am on the base level. I am learning how to budget, but I also still, because I feel like I work hard for the money that I make, I still want to have that flexibility and that ability to spend money when I want something. I don't ever want to feel deprived. And I know that that's coming from an incredibly privileged place, but I work my tushy off for the money that I make from my full-time job and, the money that thankfully I have coming in from YouTube and other side hustle sources, as it were. So, I'm putting in a lot of time, I'm putting in a lot of effort into making money. And so if I feel like treating myself, I feel like I want to treat myself, but I also maybe need to rein that in a little bit. So I'm kind of trying to balance all of those things out together. And then, so from January, I had Bits toothpaste and Billy. So this Billy is my razor. By the way, if you have not invested in a Billy razor for yourself, this is not sponsored, but I would absolutely love to work with them. I am obsessed. So I was not a frequent leg shaver. I'm off on a tangent right now, but I was not a frequent leg shaver at all until I got my Billy razor, and I'm obsessed and I love it, but I don't need refills because I feel like they send me them a little bit too frequently. So I maybe need to change that, but I don't need that this month. And then my Bits toothpaste, I also don't need this month because I have 2 of them still in my hall closet, so I don't need that. Audible is canceled. Some of these other things might get canceled as well. We're thinking about switching our music provider. Spotify may get canceled as well, which that's going to be a bummer if that's how we decide to do that, but it is what it is. And then Netflix, because of their price increase, we may cancel that as well. I don't know, man. There are a lot of good shows on Netflix, so we may just stay with Netflix. Who knows? I know that there is a price increase coming, and then I accounted for that on this month's bills, just so I don't think it's happening until March, but I did just want to get in the pattern of having that amount of money set aside in case we do that. So from my first income source, I'm not going to put a date because eventually it does. So I get paid bi-weekly, but my income source number 1 will total right around $3,200 from my full-time job. And then this month from side hustle sources, I anticipate making, oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just do some quick mental math. Okay, so can't say when and where these sources are coming from, but I am going to ballpark it right around $1,100. So my social media earnings have gone up this month. Last month, they were right around $700, and this month they're around $1,100. I've been posting more, I've been working more in social media, and again, it's thanks to you guys. So a lot of you guys come over and support me on Patreon. A lot of you guys listen to our podcast. So many of you guys just click and watch my videos and watch the ads. That is, that all. I hate to talk about the transparency part of being a content creator, but I do have ads on my videos, and that is a revenue stream for me. It's not to say that it's not also a really fun hobby that I enjoy and I love sharing. I would likely stay here and share because I love the community aspect of YouTube and that kind of thing, but it is nice to have that option to monetize because, like I said, I put in a ton of work on my social media and I'm very proud of it. So that is part of the transparency of that. So those are probably my income sources and that kind of thing. So then this page is all set up and ready to go. And then let's pop back over into the monthly really quick. And I'm just gonna go ahead and also pop this back into my storage planner, as it were. And then what I want to do, last month, I just kind of put everything in here about when it came out. And the reason for that is because I really wanted, this is a sticker problem. I really wanted to use these squares and I kind of started my spread with them, but I realized that I have several bills that come out on one day. And so I think I need to have a different system for that because I want them to be reflecting on the accurate day that they come out. And so I'm gonna do things a little differently. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take a look at the monthly, and we'll have this monthly open as well. So the actual bills that I'm gonna account for on my monthly, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm gonna get out some dot stickers, I think, and I'm just going to write those down on the sidebar. And then when those come out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then put them on the day that they come out. So again, this month is like my second month of really tracking and kind of like fine tuning what happens and that kind of thing. A couple of things that I want to also put on here are my paydays. So we'll close this for just a second, and I'm going to do that sidebar thing kind of off camera so that, I mean, you guys can watch it, but I don't know that you want to listen to me talk about all of my bills. But I did also pull out this Savvy Saver sticker book, and I'm at the end of my day, so if my voice sounds a little raspy, I apologize about that. Oh yeah, look at, there's some little dot stickers in here. Perfect. So we'll have those. And then I also saw, I was thinking about these also. These little stickers are pretty sweet, but we'll have to kind of see. I kind of like the dots a little bit better. I love them. Oh, payday. Okay, so my paydays in February are happening. It's kind of like a weird setup for payday. So payday is happening. The first one will be on February. It'll be on Valentine's Day, or like right around. Sometimes my check gets deposited early. My actual paydays are the 15th and then the last day of the month, but sometimes it comes in like a day early. My bank is just cool like that. So, oh my gosh, I need to get some more of my planner tweezers. I shared in another video that my kids stole them and broke them. But yeah, so payday is happening on Valentine's Day, which is kind of funny. And then I will also have a payday on so technically it'll be on the 28th. I wonder if it will come in, I'm gonna anticipate it on the 25th. That does not seem like it very far apart for those two paydays. I guess that's like the beauty of February is that you don't have your paydays super far apart. And then I also have a payday over here on the 21st. That is my YouTube payday. So yeah, so YouTube payday. And then I also, right around that same time, have my affiliate paycheck come in. My affiliate money from like Happy Planner sales and that kind of thing usually comes in on the 20th or like right around there. And then YouTube pays out on the 21st of every month. Sometimes a little bit before that, but other times not. And what else did I have in there? Oh, I also have, or had already, a Patreon payday. That usually happens on the 1st. So let me put that one on there as well. And thank you again to those of you who are supporting me over on Patreon. It is so fun to have you guys over there. It's just been like a blast. And I'm having a good time with it. I hope you guys are having a good time too. The link to my Patreon, like, this is 100% not a sales pitch, but if you're interested and you would like to, no pressure. Like, you coming in and watching my videos is more than enough support. But if you're interested in extra perks that I have over there, feel free to pop over to Patreon. I have not always been the most consistent Patreon host, but I'm working on getting better at that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, how many bills do I have in here? I'm gonna count these up, and then I'll put that number of dots on the sidebar. And then we will fill this in as kind of like a plan as I go throughout the month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll say 13 because of bills, and some of these things got canceled, so they won't be here anymore. Audible is canceled. I think that's the only one. So we'll say 13, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So I'm gonna just put 13 little dots over there, and then I will write down those bills. Actually, maybe, let's see, how many do I have of these? I don't have enough of those. How many of those little hay stickers do I have? Okay, how about the little 1, 2, 3, 4. There's not enough. Okay, we'll just do the little dots, which I am totally good with, and all of that good stuff. So we'll just kind of circle through the colors, and we'll put these in here. I'll put a little bit of pen, and then I will be right back at the end. I think I have all of those on there. So February is pretty well set up. I think the only thing that I need is like a motivational quote. Like, don't we all just need a little bit of motivation sometimes? I certainly do. I don't know why. I know why. It's because I like to spend money and get fun things, but budgeting is so hard for me. It's so hard. Making money moves, set goals and crush them, save now, spend later. It always seems impossible until it's done with a little piggy bank. Perfect. Okie doke. So, and then that'll leave me room up there as well if I need to add things. My budget spreads are super functional. So what's going to happen is I have all of these things on this side, and then as they pop up in the month, I will write them down depending on kind of where they fall, and hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in the different things in one day if I have more than one bill pop up that day. And then this is my overall budget. This next month, I am going to be really trying to focus on working on having something written in here to make sure I'm on top of any debts that I have and then any savings. Like, I really used last month just to set up my budget, get comfortable with budgeting, but now we're going to start diving into some of the hard parts. And then also making sure that I am tracking stuff, which I will go back and kind of balance my checkbook as it were. So that is February. Now, as promised, let's go ahead and recap January. So this is, I just transfer everything back into my budget planner. So this is my monthly. This is how this turned out. I did in fact get both of these things canceled. So I canceled my New York Times subscription. I feel like this was like a convenience thing. Like, there was an article that I wanted to read and they're like, oh, you have reached your maximum number of free articles. And so I just clicked it and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pay you $4 every month, but that adds up quickly. And I feel like I can just get the same news from Google for free, which is so silly. I don't know why I did that. And then I just really have not been using Audible, and I have books in my library, so I don't need to pay for the subscription right now. I also have a ton of free credits. I don't know if those go away when you cancel it, but it doesn't matter to me. Like, I keep saying that I want to read books and listen to books and that kind of thing, but I just don't have I just don't have the time for it right now. So if I do again, I will go ahead and start that up. But I did accomplish both of those goals, which is good. So we're kind of making progress on some of the budget. And then all of these things ended up kind of the same. And then as I was looking through, so these are, I didn't do these reflection pieces down here, and I do actually really want to do those. But what I was doing this time is these PayPal, okay, most of these PayPal things also are like Happy Planner. And so, I mean, part of the reason for purchasing Happy Planner stuff all the time is because number one, I love it, right? And then number two, it's part of the deal of being like a content creator. So if you own a small business or a side hustle or what have you, sometimes you have to invest money into it in order to get money out of it. And like, I hate looking at my YouTube channel as like a business and like looking at it from just that like raw money standpoint, because I hope that you all can tell that like I'm not just here to make money. I'm really here for the community part, but I do have to be kind of aware of that. And if I don't have content to create or things to create content with, then you guys are likely not going to want to watch my videos. So I likely will still be spending quite a bit with Happy Planner at Joann's, that kind of thing. But one area that I discovered that I could really cut back on is so my budget for groceries was $600 for the month for a family of 4. And that might sound like really low or kind of ridiculous, but that is just the goal that I want to hit. This month, I realized that I spent more than that. I spent $781.01. To like full transparency, we buy 100% organic groceries. Both of my kids are lactose intolerant, so we buy a lot of like dairy alternatives, and then we also try to avoid gluten as well, just for some of the other like health needs for some of our, make it sound like I have so many kids, but for our kids. And so and then we also make green juice like on the regular, and so my kids will just snack on, like, my son loves tomatoes. He will just pick up a tomato and eat it like an apple. And so I'm buying like 20 tomatoes a week, 20 Roma tomatoes a week. I'm buying like 30 apples. I'm buying like a ton of bananas. Like that is what they prefer to snack on during the day, which I'm totally fine with. I love that. And so I have just fresh fruit and stuff, but that does add up because to be able to keep fresh fruits and veggies in the house, I have to be able to buy them regularly. I want to kind of figure out a better way to do that because I do want to get closer, if not even below my $600 goal. So it will end up being cheaper, I think, in the summer because we do get a lot of fruits and veggies from our garden and stuff. But for now, this is where we're at. And then we did have an unexpected expense. So we had a plumber come out. We had a plumbing issue in our bathroom. So that was a little bit of an unexpected expense. And then I did also notice that I spent less this month on like my Prime Video. So it's so convenient to just like rent a movie. Some of you guys gave me other ideas, which was really awesome, but it's so convenient when Prime Video is right there and I can just click like rent this video or do this, and you know, it entertains our family on like cold winter nights. So I did this week, I rented or bought 2 movies. And I've been trying to do that as well because sometimes it'll say like you can rent the movie for like $5, but then you could buy the movie for like $10. So sometimes I'm buying the movie so then I won't have to pay that rental fee every time. And then this week over here, I only did 1. So this whole week I did 1. That was good. And I kind of messed up my dates. I don't know how I did that when I started this planner. So this page is not intentionally blank, but it's just how that worked out. This one, oh, I had to rent Sing 2. And because I'm not going to a theater right now, I'm just not doing it. I don't know. I don't really enjoy going to the movie theater anymore. Call me a super introvert, whatever you want. But we rented Sing 2. So that was the $24.99. And then there was another one here. But there's far fewer. And then there was another, I think, early rental. I don't remember what this one was. There were far fewer on here than there were last month in general. Like I was looking through my December Prime Video and girl, there were way a lot more. So that was an area that I did really well in. An area that I'm going to be working on to do better is I'm going to be working on really checking in with my groceries and like balancing out that budget. I am going to be trying to include more of like a meal plan and like a grocery list and really stick to that. And so that will be an area that I'm going to work on. There was something else that I saw on here that I wanted to mention. Oh, and then I get lazy sometimes when I'm like looking for things. So if I can't find like a planner item or like a Starbucks cup or something, I am very lazy about it. This is like how I shop. Like I'm not somebody who looks for a bargain very much. I don't look very hard. I like to have things more in like a convenience style. And so I overpay for stuff sometimes on Mercari and I need to knock that off. I need to just be more patient or persistent or something. And that is that. But I really didn't find too many things that were too crazy in my budget. So I expected to find a lot more like areas that I needed to improve. The big one that I'm going to focus on is adding things to my savings this month, focusing on groceries. Those are going to be my goals for going into my next month of budgeting. But that is how January shook out, everybody. I'm still totally learning. I will be continuing to learn. And if you have other tips that work really well for you, feel free to let me know those things and I can try them out and see if they work for me. Ideas for like adding to savings and all of that good stuff. But that is my budget check-in and my February setup. So thank you so much for being here. If you are new, hello, my name is Caitlin and I would absolutely love it if you would hit that red subscribe button down below. And if you're interested in like my budgeting story or how I budget separately from my husband and that kind of thing and just our very unique budgeting style, I will link some of my older budgeting videos where I talk about those things and that kind of thing. So there is that. I will also be this weekend filming a Q&A for you all. I did put up a question over on the community tab. So if you have questions for me or just topics that you would like to hear me talk about in a Q&A, pop that over to the community tab. I will also have a story thing up on Instagram as well, a questions box that you can put questions in, but I hope to film that for you this weekend as well because Q&As are really fun and I haven't done one of those in a while. So make sure you check that out. And then yes, make sure you give this video a like, leave a comment down below about your own budgeting path or budgeting tips, or if you're a budgeting pro or an accountant, please feel free to let me know. I'm gonna go back and listen to our podcast episode with Elena from the Organized Money. So if you're looking to find me in other places, you can find me over on the Spice Chaos podcast with Leanne, my bestie. We have an episode coming out with just the two of us this next week. She has had some big life changes and we are just gonna chit chat and do some fun things over there. We're gonna be talking about potentially some changes we're gonna make to the show. So make sure you pop over there if you're interested in checking out a Planner Girl podcast. And then you can also find me on Instagram at creatinginchaos_official. And then if you'd like to find me anywhere else, you can also use any of my affiliate links down below when you're shopping for your favorite planner items. And then you can also find me over on Patreon at Creating in Chaos and that kind of thing. And then you can also find me over on the, you can find a link to my coffee website where you can buy me a coffee, which is basically a way to tip your favorite creator. So thank you in advance for doing that. And by the way, you guys, have fun today.